Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So today's deck profile, we've got Grandis for you. This is just a pure focused OTK build with a tiny bit of spice at the end, but it's not really anything spicy at this point. It's pretty normal. So, but I got to get this deck out to you guys. You can see how it's ran. For those of you that aren't aware of how this deck works and performs, I'm here to explain it to you. So hopefully you enjoy. Also, if you are playing Grandis this month, our new memory marker that we've featured all month long has been Gummymon. This is a fantastic memory marker just for any green deck, really, but really, really awesome for any sort of Terriermon based deck or Gargomon deck. Also, super, super adorable. Handmade out of clay by my wife, hand painted as well. You can find this on our Etsy store, link in the description below. Also there, you can find all of our previous memory markers that we've had on the channel, as well as some of our Battle Ready Ink merch. All right, so I've got the whole deck pulled up for you guys so you can follow along with us as we go. The big thing that just stands out right off the bat is that I do have the Delicate Plan Tai Kamiya package in here, simply because it's a flex spot. Okay, these last four in the deck are a huge flex spot, but honestly, I've got the deck filled out already all the way, all of our combo pieces, and like a nice healthy like Evo chain of everything that literally I'm not missing anything from the deck. So these last four slots are kind of just whatever you want them to be. I've seen anything from Analog Youth to search for even more stuff to just some kind of oddball things. But I mean, the Tai Kamiya Delicate Plan package is just such a safe bet sort of thing, and this deck has multiple ways to give you plenty of memory, so that way you're guaranteed to be able to use it and do your whole Evo chain and everything. We'll get into it, but the deck is just really efficient at being able to do all this stuff in one turn, that I don't mind including it. I think it's a really powerful package, especially if you go against any sort of security control, as security control is still the big way to counter this deck as well as Alphamon both. So if people think that, you know, Yellow Hybrid got hit, so security control is no longer a threat anymore, I don't have to worry about security control decks, well, that's kind of where you're wrong. There's still a lot of ways to play. Yeah, you can still play Yellow Hybrid and then swap things out to give you, other forms of recovery, as well as just playing an actual like old school style security control deck. We've seen this yellow purple one kind of getting talked about more and more here lately. And if that's the case, then I think the Delicate Plan package is very, very important. So it's still in here, but again, it's a flex spot. If you don't feel the need for it, or your locals or whatever tournament you're going to, you don't expect to see a lot of security control style decks, then just go ahead and throw it off. I don't know what you're going to put in there instead. Maybe just some analog use to just have more search power in that regard. So let's go ahead and do this card by card. First up, we got Yokomon. For babies, that's all you need. Yokomon is the only one you want to see. You want to build up your stack in raising area, have it protected. You're not going to be just constantly promoting over and over, and Yokomon is one of the most powerful ones you can have for this deck, because when you Digiburst it away, you get 2000 DP for the turn. So that's really strong in combination with a lot of other stuff that we're going to talk about. Next, we got Kuwagamon. This is a new one for the deck. We got this is the X antibody one. Zero Digivolve from other Kuwagamons. I know some people are running the one I got down here at the end, the Security Attack +1 Inheritable. There are some forms out there, but I feel like it's not necessary to have this included. You're going to Digiburst 4 away anyways, and you're going to get Security Attack +2. And then plus your regular attack. That's 3 security per swing. That's 6 security in total. Okay, if you're swinging for 8 security all of a sudden, it's just not necessary. So I don't think the need for this is quite there, at least in my experience. And I tested a lot against this deck, and every time I'd see the Kuwagamon, and it would just be like, okay, you've already like got this in the bag. Every single time it was just like a win more card that just made it take longer, because that is like, oh, turn 1 Kuwagamon, pass turn on that one Evo. Like, you didn't have to do that. You could have Evo'd into like something else and got your stack further along. It was always just a very unnecessary card. But Kukuamon X Antibody is still on play. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Insectoid or Machine in its traits and 1 X Antibody. That's going to be the option card among them to your hand. Place the rest of the cards on the deck in any order. This is just a searcher for the deck. I mean, we're running a ton of insects. If you look, like most of this chain is going to be all insects. All the important stuff is insects. So really, really nice searcher. It's the only searcher that we have in the deck besides our green memory boost down here. Only Digimon searcher. Next, we got the Palmon. And this is the classic promo Palmon. Digiburst, give yourself jamming. That's really, really strong. You might wonder, well, why do you need the Palmon if you got the Yokomon? Grandis himself is going to be at 16,000. Yokomon puts him up to 18,000. When you Digiburst the jamming away, say you swing in, you hit into like a Wyvern's Breath, or more prominently, the Sunrise Buster, right? That's going to nuke your DP. If they leave you with a single 1,000 DP left, you're going to be so grateful that you kept that jamming. So including the jamming, I think, is going to be super, super important. Some people are like, oh, you don't need it. You know, you've already got the DP that swings over everything. Yeah, but as long as there's some sort of security control that has some sort of DP minusing going on, you're going to need the jamming, okay? Just you can survive most of their DP reduction effects, but you're not going to be able to survive the very next security check right afterwards. So yeah, I think the Palmon is still super important. Next is, I guess you could call it a flex spot. Like, this is where some people are putting in the Kukuamon, is in this spot. I think the Memory Blocker Terriermon is huge, with the other deck specifically being against dealing with Alphamon. A Memory Blocker is brutal. Okay, again, I played against Grandis with Alphamon, with several decks, because I think Grandis is the most difficult one to try to figure out to beat. A Memory Blocker, when you're playing Alphamon, sucks. Okay, it just straight up sucks so bad. You lose the both Dexmons, your level 4 and your level 5, you're going to lose out on that. If you're running the Security Alphamon, you're going to lose out on that memory gain back. You're going to go into your Aryukin, and you're not going to be able to send those sources to the bottom to gain memory back. Memory blockers against Alphamon is so good. We've talked about memory blockers in the past against blue being stupid strong. Yeah, the same thing can apply against Alphamon. Yeah, memory blocker against Alphamon is super brutal. So I'm maxed out at 4 on the Terriermons here. 1, we can just Evo it in Raising Area. Just use it as a stepping stone to get into our Mega. Not a big deal. 0 Evo cost. Totally okay with that. And then when you're going against those Alphamon decks, yeah, just hard play a Terriermon in the meantime while you're working up into the back. Super strong card. Super, super strong card, specifically to counter the meta. Next, we got Weedmon. This is another one of our Digiburst targets here. So 1 cost Evo. We're really trying to max out on these 1 cost Evos here on the level 4s. Digiburst, gain 1 memory. Why that is so important is for multiple reasons. 1, if you don't get into your X Antibody Akuamon to reduce the Evo cost of your Gran, you're going to need 1 extra memory. Okay, so if you have a memory fixture on field, you start at 3 memory. If you Digiburst the Weedmon, you essentially give yourself 4 memory. And then you're going to go 3 Evo into Gran, 1 Evo cost into Grandis. If you have the X Antibody here, though, that's a 2 Evo cost into Gran, 1 Evo cost into Grandis, and then a 1 memory to play a Delicate Plan and then swing. Okay, so the Weedmon is very, very powerful for numerous scenarios in the deck. Weedmon is extraordinarily good. So you absolutely want to maximize on that. Next, I got the Kabuterimon here. Just, again, mostly it's a 1 Evo cost level 4. Okay, that's the main thing, and it just happens to be a blocker also. So if say I play out that Terriermon and he's doing all my memory blocking and stuff like that, oh well, the memory blocking is no longer needed. I need a blocker. Let me just Evo on top with my blocker Kabuterimon to over that Terriermon that I hard played out earlier, or the Kukuamon that you hard played earlier to search with. Just turn him into a blocker right quick. He did his search effect. He's good. Now I'm going to Evo my blocker and just have my blocker sitting out there while I'm trying to get my level 5s and my level 6s. So I think a blocker is still pretty strong in this, just against this deck as well as against Alphamon both. Super strong. Next is the Metal Kabuterimon. Actually got recommended this one from a friend. I think they said they got it from Primitive TCG. I was just running the, the Arbomon originally. That was just the Vanilla 2 Evo cost hybrid for game. The general gist of it there. With the green memory boost, that's going to give you that extra 2 memory to Evo on top of your Mimi. If you can't do the double Mimi shenanigan that we'll talk about. 2 Evo cost on top of a Tamer. This can still do that. So that's important, is that we can still Evo on top of a Mimi for 2 Evo cost. So instantly just has the same value pretty much, except for Evo on top of level 3s for 3 Evo cost. That's where it bites you a little bit, but it makes up for it in the fact that Evo on level 4s for 1 cost. What's so important about that? Evo for 1 on top of Weedmon with this guy. Evo another one on top of himself. Do you see where I'm going with that? That's more draws. In this deck, where getting into your combo piece is super important. You got to do this as fast as possible. 1 Evo cost draw. Like, that's super strong. And in addition to that, that's more Digiburst targets for when you get into your GrandisKuwagamon to just Digiburst away. If you can Digiburst away, 2 level 4s, that's going to be really good, especially if you can do something like keep your Akuamon that has the Piercing inheritable, which is the next card we're going to talk about. This is our first level 5, the Piercing for your Insectoids. Any situation where you can keep this under your Grandis is pretty strong, right? So then if they have multiple blockers, you can suspend 1 blocker with Grandis, but if they have a second blocker, you're going to be, in a bad position. But being able to pierce right through that is super strong. So any situation where I can keep that is always nice. So that's another reason that we run the Metal Kabuterimon. Also, this next effect is just kind of neat. Mostly we just run this guy because he's got the Akuamon name, and it just really synergizes with the deck very, very nicely. But this effect is also still really strong. Your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with Insectoid in its traits. So when this Digimon Digivolves, okay, that's the important part. It's not when you Digivolve this guy, but when he himself Digivolves into an Insectoid. All of your opponent's Digimon gain all turns. When this Digimon is suspended, lose 1 memory until the next time your opponent's turn ends. So it's like a mini ice wall. Like, that's so good. That's like super, super strong. Also, when you use Grandis to suspend your opponent's stuff, like, that doesn't get talked about enough, but when that happens, they lose that 1 memory. That's super strong as well. So very, very nice card. Very underrated, I think. This next one, though, is very popular, though. This is the X-Antibody Akuamon. 0 Evo cost on top of your other Akuamon. So, again, we're getting another source. We're getting another draw. Like, multiple things going on here. Very powerful effects. Then, when Digivolving, if Akuamon or X-Antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, if this Digimon is attacking, you may switch the target of attack to your opponent's suspended Digimon. That part's not overly important, except for when Digivolving, you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Like, again, clear a blocker out of the way. That's super good. So this deck is really good at managing blockers. I think that's very powerful. And there's no level restriction, DP restriction on that. Just suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. That's very good. No restrictions. I like it. Then your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with Insectoid in its traits, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. That's so good. So you're going to go 2 Evo cost into your Grand, and then 1 Evo cost into your Grandis on top of that. So this guy essentially making your memory fixer, putting you at 3, all you need, and then you're good to go. You're just ready to rock. So first up, we got the promo GrandisKuwagamon from way back in the day. 3 Evo costs, preferably 2. Digiburst 2, gain security attack +1 for each 2 that you do. So you can, most likely, you just want to Digiburst 4 things away, like I was talking about in the beginning. Digibursting 4 is all you need, giving yourself security attack +2. And then with your first swing, that's going to be 3 checks. Second swing, that's going to be another 3 checks for 6 checks in total. That's plenty, okay? Could you get more than that? Absolutely. So you'll have your baby, your level 3, a level 4, a level 5, and that's just a normal run. If you have the Metal Kabuterimon in there, that's another one. If you have the X-Antibody Akuamon, that's 6. Okay, that's a whole extra pair there to give you another Digiburst. So I just think it's really, really strong. And again, no need for Kuwagamon when you just have this kind of versatility. Again, you only need a Digiburst 4. And like, that's a given in every single stack you ever make, is that you'll have 4. So why does it matter to have a Kuwagamon there? I don't know. It does not compute. Does not compute. GrandisKuwagamon is our next. This is our new MVP of the deck. Digivolve for 1 on top of GrandKuwagamon. When Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So again, clearing out another blocker. So now your opponent essentially needs 3 blockers to stop a Grandis, because the Akuamon and the Grandis both suspending the blockers out of the way. When this Digimon is attacking, you may switch the target of attack to one of your opponent's suspended Digimon. Not super relevant. It's mostly if you use this in combination with like other like when attacking Digivolve into a Mega sort of shenanigans. Your turn, this Digimon gets plus 4,000 DP. That's what I was talking about earlier. He's going to be at 16,000 DP, plus 2k from the Yokomon, and jamming as well. So even if they do take out a lot of your DP, you're still alive. With only a little bit of DP left, but a little bit of DP and jamming is plenty fine. And then end of attack once per turn. If GrandKuwagamon or X Antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and unsuspend this Digimon. You don't have to do the first part to do the second part, okay? I know there's a misconception there. There's a certain way that Digimon words their effects. If it has the first part, it says the first part and it says to unsuspend this Digimon, you have to do the first part to do the second part. But there's no to in this, okay? So it's just do this and do this. Or if you can't do this, just do this. You know, you can still do the second thing without doing this, the first thing. That's very, very important. So end of attack, you can unsuspend. Even if your opponent doesn't have anything on field, you can still unsuspend. It's fine. And also, you don't have to have GrandKuwagamon underneath. X Antibody also will trigger this. So if you Digivolve on top of your Akuamon with X Antibody, or you've got Kukuamon down here at the very, very bottom, you can still unsuspend, okay? So sometimes there's just situations where that's what you got to do, okay? Your opponent's about to beat you. All right, well, I'm going to go into GrandKuwagamon. I'm going to attack twice and clear your field, okay? Like, okay, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Next up, we got the green memory boost here. 3 play cost, reveal 4, add 1 green Digimon. Everything else goes to the bottom, and then delay, gain 2. This is another searcher. We're just trying to get into our pieces as fast as possible. This is a great way to get us there. Just play this out. I really also like the green memory boost because on the turn we finally do OTK. You know, we've talked about the multiple ways. You know, you got the memory fixer putting you at 3. You're going to Digiburst away the Weedmon, giving you an extra 1. And then you can, Evo into your Grandis and then play a delicate plan. And then that leaves you at 0. And then you attack, clear your opponent's 6 security, no options, cool. Then pop your green memory boost, give you 2 extra, and then Evo your one of your Metal Kabuterimons here on top of Mimi and swing for game. Okay, really, really good. So multiple uses out of this green memory boost. Very, very powerful multiple uses. Next, though, we do have Mimi herself, which is our memory fixer for the deck. Also, my other ideal way to win with this deck is double Mimi. So you've got your Grandis on field. Go for, you just promoted up. You're level 5. You did all your Evoing shenanigans. Now you're going to go Mimi, hatch a new baby, Evo a rookie, and then you're going to go Mimi again to promote that rookie up on field, and then swing with your Grandis and all that shenanigans. I think there's some debate about should you wait to use the second Mimi or not. Say you swing in right with your Grandis, and what if he dies on the last check? He dies on the last check, and then I can't go Mimi to promote up my rookie and swing for game. Yeah, it's really rough. Maybe after you swing with the first Grandis, if he's still alive, he's unsuspended, he's about to go in for his second round of checks, that's when you use the second Mimi to go ahead and promote up. I think that's probably like the most ideal way to go about it, to be as safe as possible. And then, so yeah, double Mimi, super, super strong. Super strong. And then, yeah, the Delicate Plan. And then, of course, we have to have something red to go with the Delicate Plan so we can play it. And then just the 2-drop tie, I think, is fine. All your Digimon get plus 1,000 DP, making your Grandis now 19,000 beater on field. Yeah, that with jamming, come on. Like that's ridiculous. And with a delicate plan in play, shoot, I'm not worried about anything. Even if I don't have a delicate plan, like that's still super, super strong. So yeah, that is the main part of the deck. We already talked about the Kukuamon. I just do want to talk about a few others that were things I just kind of want to talk about that I debated putting in the deck that ultimately decided against. We already went over the Kukuamon. We do actually have a new Kukuamon in BT10 that I actually kind of really like for the deck, and that gives the inheritable of your turn once per turn when this Digimon attacks and deletes an opponent's Digimon, gain 1 memory. Like, there's definitely argument for putting that one in if you want, because then you can still Evo the X antibody on top of it, similar to the 1 Evo cost rookie we have here. I just don't think the security attack +1 is really that needed, but the gain 1 memory is pretty snazzy. There also was the new Kukuamon X antibody that came out in the set. 0 Evo from another Kukuamon, so kind of the same premise as we had with the Metal Kabuterimon, that really cheap Evo, level 4, draw, Evo, draw. And then he has the piercing of, or the inheritable of piercing also. But with the promo Akuamon giving us piercing anyways, it really, really lessened the need for this one from the main set. And the only Kuwagamon that I could find that was like halfway decent was this one here. Start of your turn, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon 3000 DP or less. Like, probably not going to matter. He's probably going to be in raising area anyway, so you'll never get this. And then the inheritable, your turn when this Digimon deletes one of your opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, one of your opponent's suspended Digimon doesn't unsuspend during their next unsuspend phase. Like, that's kind of neat. It's kind of strong. But, like, when you look at what we have to give up to get those, it's not worth it. I'm not giving up Weedmon. Kabuterimon being that versatility of having the blocker, like against the Alphamon matchup, is really strong. Metal Kabuterimon is freaking busted. So, yeah, no, not running the Kuwagamon stuff. I did also just wanted to talk about the red Vegemon here. 1 Evo cost, the same as the other stuff. 3 play cost, but my only thing about that is I don't want to hard play out of level 4, go into level 5, and then go into my Grandis or my Grand. Like, that's only 1 Digiburst amount of 4 and a 5 for security attack +1. Like, I really will almost never want to do anything like that. I want to go all the way up from a baby. But the last package was pretty spicy. Like, at first I was like, oh yeah, Blossomon and Argomon, that Digizorption 3, always been super strong, like, no complaints there. But then someone mentioned that they were running it with searchers, just a couple searchers in the deck, 1 play cost, draw 1. Like, okay, 1 play cost, draw 1, all right, I dig it. And then Digizorption, suspend the searcher that can't attack your opponent's security anyways, suspend that, and then go into your Argomon or Blossomon for free, and then go straight into your Mega on top of that. Oh my god, like, mind was blown with that combo. Super, super strong. Like, the only thing is, though, you're going to lose out on that Akuamon synergy. Like, that's still a very, very powerful... like, I think this is still the better package. It's still the stronger one by a little bit, but man, like, going straight from a 4 all the way up into Grandis, like, that also feels pretty good. It just requires more setup. You got to have the searcher out, and you got to have these guys and things like that. But it's pretty spicy. I'm not going to lie. Like, that was pretty spicy. I really did think that was super awesome. But that is the deck, though. Again, Tai Kamiya being the last card in the deck there for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it goes over a little better than the Alphamon did. That's super debated. I think this deck is a very, very straightforward. Like, there's not a whole lot of wiggle room. Literally, 4 cards in the deck is about the only room to talk about wiggle room, and maybe like 1 rookie package, and that is it. I think some people are just doing like 2 Terriermons, 2 Kukuamons, I guess, which also isn't that bad. I just like the consistency, and I just don't think the Kukuamon's quite necessary. But yeah, the deck is strong. Like there's a reason that this is the deck that I keep testing against, because I find it to be the most difficult one to beat out of everything in the format, because it's just a ticking time bomb, and it's like, how do you deal with this ticking time bomb? Like, once it's ready to explode, what do you do? How do you stop it? It's just a race to beat them before they beat you. Honestly, that's how I keep coming back to it. You got to beat them before they just pop off and beat you.